I finished Star versus the Forces of Evil like a week ago, and I am still processing the show's finale and how, after two incredible seasons, the show just decided, no, we're not gonna be good anymore. I'm still comprehending why and how, and why the show decided to make that the ending, and decided to retcon itself and make and explain none of the lore, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that Toffee, who was just like my favorite character like the entire show, and I really wanted him to come back. He was such a cool villain. His voice, it was just so amazing. His like the way he was written, the fact that he was the coolest villain. Like he wasn't powerful because of these insane powers that like Mina and Meteora and all these Mina and Meteora really were the only other main villains of the show had. He was powerful because of his like 1 billion IQ, and it was just so amazing, and he took up so much, like he had such a presence in the show. And in season 1 and 2, it's so good, and Toffee's very important in both of those seasons. And he did not, and I was so expecting him to come back after he met that like really lackluster end, but he had so much potential as well. But again, they refuse to explain anything in this show, and it leads to extremely, extremely confusing things. Like, why did Toffee want his finger back? I mean, obviously you want your finger back, and I haven't read the book that, like, probably has a ton of lore. I know it does. But, like, why? Why did Toffee, why is he missing, why does he need his finger back? I'm still really confused as to how he needs to have his finger back. Like, it doesn't affect anything other than the fact that he just wants his finger back. Like, does it give him, like, some sort of fucking special powers? Like, what's going on here? The finger doesn't change anything, really. And it's other villains, and basically, and mixed with some of, like, his interactions with Glossaric, his ominous warnings about everything, the way he was just determined to get what he wanted to happen, his backstory, and then an ending. Everything was so well done, and just needed to expand upon it more, and actually explain what's going on, and not make you so confused as to what the hell's going on with the lore, and just so, like, what? It just tends to, like, after season 1 and 2, it just tends to just, like, spam magic and, like, hope that you forget that it has to make sense, and hope that you forget that the show has to have some sort of a plot. Like, the magic stops making sense. Like, the realm of magic makes some sense, I guess, but if they explained more, if they explained it more, it would make a lot more sense, probably. But after that, like, what exactly does the whispering spell do? Why did it cleave the wand in two the first time, and then the second time, he just got rid of the wand? Like, what? I mean, obviously the wand comes back, and, like, I guess that makes some sense, but at the same time, not really. Like, I'm still confused on that. I'm also confused as to what the hell Glossaric's doing and everything, but this video is about Toffee, and how much potential he had if they took 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes, if they spent time actually explaining what's going on. Like, if they really, really wanted to. Like, I mean, if it doesn't take, I feel like it wouldn't take that much effort to explain what's going on with him, and also give him an ending that actually makes sense, instead of killing the serialization of the show. Well, I mean, it's still serialized, but, like, That's the right word, isn't it? I feel like it is. I feel like I'm so close to saying the right word, but it might be the wrong word. Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, whatever. But the show decides to do this whole like one thingy per season, which is just like you can't really do that mid-show. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You can't just like, that doesn't work. Like, what? I mean, also, I think that the show thought they were going to get more seasons than they did. There's no evidence of this, but the show is so rushed and so boring. And also, and it's not like even with those 4 seasons that they had, they didn't have time to explain this lore or give Toffee a better ending or anything like that. They spend so much time on filler episodes that there's just no, like, it's not like there isn't enough time to do all these things. They're just not doing it. And Toffee should have been the main villain of the show. And he's the main victim of this as a character. Like, seriously, he really, really is. He should have been the villain for the rest of the show. He should have, I don't know. And he should have been. And he had such a cool presence. He was an actual threat, which is something every other character doesn't have. And this show's so bad at writing endings towards anything, with Meteor's ending being lackluster at best, and so is Toffee's, and Mina's ending being just terrible, and the show's entire ending being just, like, not that good. It's terrible. But, like, and it's like, why would you replace Toffee with Meteora? And it's just the exact opposite of what Toffee was. All power, no brains. Which, while Toffee was powerful in his own right, he was also mostly powerful because he was smart. And then they replaced him, and then you have, there's Mina, and Mina is the same exact thing. And it's like, what? And if they expanded more on Mina's backstory, they could make it work. But again, they didn't. They decided to put more filler episodes instead. If they expanded more on these villains, and Toffee really didn't need that much more expansion compared to these other people, just some explaining so your head doesn't hurt when you actually spend 2 seconds to think. No, it doesn't. It hurts. Like, your head hurts if you're not even thinking about it. You're like, what? How does that even make any sense? You don't need to think about it. It just is there. To understand the plot, you can't stop yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself if you try to figure it out. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And it's also because of the show's slight retcons and the fact that Toffee just... Why? I'm still confused as to why the hell his finger was in the wand in the first place, and I'm probably being stupid about that one. But also, why was he stuck in the wand the second time? Like, why does he turn his head when they're in the painting and say surprise? It doesn't. I'm so confused. If the show was a little more clear about anything, it would be better, especially Toffee. Mixed with the way the show does time travel in that one scene with Toffee, it was okay, but it also sort of retcons things, because we never knew what Toffee's motivation is, really. The best we get is that he wants his finger back. Why he wants his finger back, it's unclear. But he wants his finger back, and he obviously wants the world. But he seemed to always have this motive that was deeper. But, like, it clearly wasn't just he hates magic for hating magic's sake. I think it was probably I think it seemed to be that he was just, like, racist towards humans. Like, just annoyed or, like, really mad about the humans' racism. Which was, like, alright. Except that's not his motivation. They seem to think his motivation was to just destroy magic, which isn't true. They make stuff up that doesn't, and it breaks the show more than it actually, like, it breaks the show more than it fixes the show. And it breaks everything, and it like, the show just sort of broke down in the 4th season because it just refused to fix that stuff. If they had more time, they could have done what they wanted with keeping the filler episodes and expanding all this stuff. But they didn't, and so they could just get rid of some of the filler episodes and explain this, and they also could have just kept Toffee, even if they wanted to get rid of Toffee and replace it with this, which I still don't know why they would, but even if they wanted to, they just need to do that. They need to get rid of the filler episodes and replace them with plot-filled episodes. Or not even just, like, episodes with plot in them. Just replace them with episodes that explain things in a way that makes sense. Other than that, like, I obviously wish Toffee was the main villain for the entire show, and there was, like, a fight with him and like, a good climax to the show. But, like, there isn't, and it's sad. But if they really didn't want to keep him in there and, like, fix all of this, it really, like, you can still fix it either way. Alright, that's my rant about the show that I've been formulating for about a week, except I really haven't, because I'm still in shock about how bad that was and how fast the show fell apart. But, you know, bye.